Hello my dear student, welcome to my channel English Door. Dear student, today I'm going to prepare a new lesson for you, and the lesson is very important, very important for you because this is a confusion lesson and this is all about verbs and its grammatical use in a sentence as auxiliary verbs and principal verbs, and how to convert a sentence to another sentence using the verbs. That means conversion of sentence. Okay, my dear student, let's get started. Verb. First of all, to know about verb, we have to know the grammatical uses of verb in a sentence. Dear student, you will find in a sentence two types of verbs. One is auxiliary verbs and the other is principal verb. Dear student, my question is that how will you find auxiliary verb in a sentence, or how will you differ auxiliary and principal verb in a sentence? The most important characteristic of auxiliary verbs, of course, it will be there where two verbs you will find in a sentence. That means in a sentence there will be two verbs. Okay? The first verb is auxiliary verb and the later one is always principal verb. Auxiliary verb, four kinds. To be auxiliary, to do, to have, and modals auxiliary verb. To be. My dear student, you have confusion why I wrote to before each of the words. To be, to do, to have. Because to be, that means be has several forms. In the same way, do has several forms. For example, to be, am, is, are, was, were, been. These are the forms of to be. In a sentence, any verb can be used, but it will be called to be verb. To do. Do has three forms: do, does, and did. To have. Also three forms: have, has, and had. My dear student, but the modal's exceptional. It has several forms, such as shall, will, can, may, need, dare, could, would, might, should, ought to, and also some other forms. For example, dear student, you are watching two sentences on the screen. First one, he is working in the field, and the later one, I shall buy a shirt today. In this two sentences, we'll find two verbs. Look here, two colors. The first red color is, and the next one blue, working. In the same way, next sentence, shall and buy. Here the first verb, auxiliary, and the later verb, principal verb. That means in a sentence, while you'll find two verbs, the first one would be called auxiliary and the later one is principal verb. Here he is to be verb. Look, to be, am is, right? Is, to be verb. And the later one, I shall, buy. Here shall, modals auxiliary. Dear student, now the another three sentences you will find something different. Here in the three sentences, only one single verb. I am a student, I have an ID card, I do my homework. Here three sentences, only single verb. But the verbs seemed to be auxiliary but not. Why? Because there are only single verb, no two verbs. That is why auxiliary verb would be said here principal verb. That means I am a student. Here am blue in color, principal verb. I have an ID card, have, principal verb. I do my homework, do, principal verb. But if I said I have bought a shirt, then have and bought two verbs, there have is auxiliary verb. Now assignment for you, my dear student. This assignment you'll complete yourself. I'll help you. The instruction is find out auxiliary and principal verbs. Okay. The first sentence. My dear student, look, I am learning English. My first question, how many verbs in that sentence? And which one is auxiliary and which one principal verb? Okay guys, we'll get 5 seconds. Okay, let's check it out. The first one, here two verbs, and learning. The first one, red in color, and auxiliary. And we'll say that to be auxiliary. And later one, in blue color, learning is principal verb. Okay, another one. The boy has seen a tiger. My dear student, it says same questions. How many verbs and which one is auxiliary and which one is principal? You will get 5 seconds. Okay, my dear student, I hope you understand, okay? Now let's check it out the answer. Has and seen, two verbs. The first red in color verb, auxiliary. We will say that one to have auxiliary. And the later one, seen. Seen, principal verb, blue in color. Okay, now another one. The wool seam in the river. My dear student, the same question. How many verbs? Which one auxiliary and which one principal verb? You will get 5 seconds. Okay, my dear student, let's check it out. Here also two verbs, will and swim. Will in red color is auxiliary verb and it would be called modals auxiliary. And swim is principal verb in blue color. In the same way, I have bought a book. Here are also two verbs, right? Now tell me which one is auxiliary and which one is principal verb. You will get 3 seconds. Can you identify, my dear student? Okay, I'll help you. Have, auxiliary, and bought, principal verb. But this is exception, my dear student, that I talked about in the previous slide. I have a book. Here, how many verbs? One verb, only have. But have is here principal verb. Look the difference. The sentence just before it, I have bought a book. Here two verbs, have and bought. That is why have in red color, this is to have auxiliary verb. But the later last sentence, I have a book. Here have only one verb. That is why we'll call it principal verb, not auxiliary. Now, my dear student, we'll talk about the conversion of sentence. How to use verb in a sentence to convert from one structure to another. First of all, we'll talk about assertive sentence. In assertive sentence, you'll get sentence in two forms, positive form and negative form. And we'll talk about two steps, how to change sentence positive to negative form. The first one, my dear student, if you find a sentence where two verbs in a sentence, that means the first one auxiliary and the later one principal. Here the first one is red in color. If you find this one to be, to do, to have or modal auxiliaries, what would be the configuration of negative form then? Okay, my dear student, the negative form, just you will use a not after a verb. After the first one, red in color, look, two verbs, the first one auxiliary, right? And this red color, first one auxiliary verb. After that, you will use just not. Then it would be called a negative sentence. For example, we are friends. Here are, my dear student, you can be confused because here only one verb, right? But to be is exceptional, okay? It doesn't require other verbs to use not. Just we are friends. The negative form is we are not friends. He is reading a fiction. Here two verbs, okay? The first one is auxiliary. That is why you will use after is not. In the same way, I have seen a beggar. Here I have not seen a beggar. You will prepare for the exam. Here not after will, okay? That means if you find a sentence where two verbs or to be verbs, after auxiliary you will use only not to make it negative. The second rule's structure is, if you find only one single verb in a sentence, then how to make it negative form? Okay, my dear student, let's talk about it. Positive to negative. Subject and verb, base form. Do you know what is base form? Base form is the present form of the verb. But verb present form uses two types in a sentence. One is base form, just simple, and another is singular form. That means after verbs, you will see there is s or es connected. Subject plus verb, here subject plural form. But the later one, subject singular form, and the verb is singular also. And these two forms, to make it negative, the first one, verb base form, you have to use do not, because there's only one single verb. Do not, then verb base form. But for the later one, subject singular and verb singular, added with s or es, then you have to use does not plus verb base form. Here, look, there is a change. For the single verb to make it negative form, of course the verb will be always base form, though it was earlier s or es connected. But now it will be the base form, not s or es. And the later one, past simple form, if you find the verb in past form, then it would be did not. then the verb is base form. The same way, base form, not past form. Examples: I sleep at night. Look, sleep, base form. But the second one, he sleeps at 11 p.m. Here, sleeps, singular form. I have a watch. Have, base form. Okay, let's change. The first one, I sleep. Look, there is no s or es connected, and this is base form. That is why the negative form, I do not sleep. But the second one, look, here is sleeps, s connected. That is why the negative form does not sleep. But look, here sleep, no s or es connected. That means base form. In the same way, I have a watch. I do not have. Or you can change it in exceptional way. I have no watch. For the past tense, past simple, look, I visited the place last month. Here, visited, past tense, past simple form, right? Verb in past form. That is why you have to use here did not. I did not, but the visit, okay? Base form, not visited. In the same form, you had a bicycle. Here, you did not have, or you had no bicycle. My dear student, this is not bicycle. This is bicycle. Right pronunciation. Now, my dear student, we'll talk about how to change assertive form to interrogative form in a conversion sentence. The first rule, the same. If you find two verbs in a sentence and the first one is auxiliary, that means to be, to do, to have, and modals, then how to change it to interrogative form? This is very simple. First, you have to write the auxiliary verb, then subject, then verb. That means to configure an interrogative sentence or to make an interrogative mark of a sentence, always you have to write the verb first. For example, we are friends. Look, are we friends? Here are at the first. He is reading a fiction. Is he reading a fiction? Here is at the first. I have seen a beggar. Here have, but here have at the first. In the second rule, if you find only single verb in a sentence, how to make it interrogative form? Of course, you have to use do, does, did. That means to do auxiliary verb. In the same way, subject and then verb base form. The interrogative form will be do, then subject, then verb, because this is base form. But for the next one, subject singular and verb connected with s or es, then of course you have to put does at the first. And the verb will be base form. That is no connection with s or es. For past simple tense, if you find the verb in past form, the interrogative form will be start with did, and the verb will be base form. Okay, let's get the examples. My dear student, let's talk about examples. The same sentences, look, that we talked about for assertive sentence, making it positive to negative. Now for interrogative sentence. I sleep at 11 p.m. Here sleep base form, right? So what is the configuration of base form? Do. Do I sleep? He sleeps. Look, singular subject he, and sleeps singular, right? Because here added s. So the interrogative form does will be at the first. Does he sleep? And look, I have a watch. Here is also base form, and that is why do I have? The question, do I have a watch? And later on, look, I visited the place last month. The verb visited, past simple form. That is why here would be, did I visit? Okay? Did I visit the place last month? You had a bicycle. Had, past simple form, right? So the question started with did. Did you have a bicycle? Here did. Look, here had, but the interrogative form, base form. What is the base form of had? Have. I hope you understand sentence conversion. This is the end of the lesson. Verbs, grammatical use of auxiliary and principle, and how to identify verbs in a sentence, and how to convert one sentence to another sentence. That means sentence conversion. Okay, my dear student, if you like my video, if you really learned something from my lesson, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get the later videos at the first. Thank you.